I am 28 years old. My wedding day was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. I had planned everything for over a year. Every detail was perfect. The flowers were exactly what I wanted. The venue was a beautiful old garden. My dress was a dream. It felt like a fairy tale coming to life. I was marrying Liam, the man I loved more than anything. Nothing could ruin this day. At least, that is what I told myself that morning. My mother, Carol, who is 55, helped me get ready. She was calm and quiet, the way she always is. She zipped up my dress and smoothed down the lace. She looked at me in the mirror. Her eyes were a little misty. "You are so beautiful, Chloe," she said. I smiled at her reflection. "Thank you, Mom. I'm so nervous." "That's normal," she said. "Just remember what today is about. It's about you and Liam. Nothing else matters." Her words were meant to be a comfort. I held on to them like a lifeline. I knew we might need them. The problem was my mother-in-law, Brenda. She had a way of making everything about her. Throughout the entire wedding planning process, she had tried to take over. She wanted a different cake. She wanted different flowers. She even suggested a different wedding date that was more convenient for her. Liam and I had held firm on most things, but it was always a fight. Liam always tried to keep the peace. "That's just how she is," he would say. "It's easier to just let her have her way on the small things." But the small things had added up. They felt like a pile of tiny cuts. I was worried about what she might do on the actual wedding day. My maid of honor, Jenna, was also worried. She had been my best friend since college. She knew all about Brenda. "Just be prepared," Jenna had warned me a week before the wedding. "She's going to pull something. I can feel it." I had laughed it off. What could she possibly do? The plans are set. Everything is paid for. She can't change anything now. I was so naive. I truly believed the worst was behind us. I thought that on the day of the wedding, she would finally let me have my moment. I was wrong. The ceremony was set to begin at 2 o'clock. Guests were starting to arrive. I was hidden away in the bridal suite, peeking out the window. I saw my cousins and my aunts finding their seats. I saw Liam's family arriving. Then I saw her. Brenda stepped out of a car with her husband, George. My heart stopped. She was wearing a dress. It was not just a dress. It was a white dress. It was not off-white or cream or champagne. It was pure, bright white. It was covered in lace and beads. It had a long, flowing skirt. It looked almost exactly like a wedding dress. It was more elaborate than many wedding dresses I had seen. My breath caught in my throat. I felt a wave of heat wash over me. This could not be happening. It was a joke. It had to be a joke. But Brenda was not laughing. She was smiling, greeting guests as if she were the host of the party. She was glowing. Jenna came to stand beside me at the window. Her jaw dropped. "Oh no, she did not," Jenna whispered. "She did," I said. My voice was a choked whisper. "She actually did it." "That is not a mother of the groom dress," Jenna said, her voice filled with outrage. "That is a, look at me. I am the bride dress." I felt sick. My stomach twisted into a tight knot. All the air seemed to leave the room. My perfect day was already tainted. It was not even 2 o'clock. I backed away from the window. I sank down onto a small sofa. My mom came over to me. She had not seen it yet. "What's wrong, honey? You look like you've seen a ghost." I could not speak. I just pointed toward the window. My mom walked over and looked out. She was silent for a long moment. I watched her shoulders tense up. She did not say anything dramatic. She just turned back to me, her face a calm, hard mask. "Okay," she said. Her voice was steady. "We need to deal with this." "How?" I asked, my voice trembling. "What can we do? The ceremony is in 30 minutes. I can't just call it off." "No, you are not calling anything off," my mom said firmly. She sat down next to me. You are going to go out there and you are going to marry Liam. You are going to have a beautiful day. But everyone will see her, I cried. They will all be looking at her. They will be whispering, she's trying to ruin my wedding. Yes, she is, my mom agreed, and we are not going to let her. Jenna was pacing back and forth. I could go spill some red wine on her. Accidentally, of course. I almost smiled. It was a tempting thought. But I knew it would just cause a bigger scene. It would make me look petty. That was probably what Brenda wanted. She wanted a reaction. She wanted drama. No, I said. That will just make it worse. My mom took my hand. Chloe, listen to me. Do not give her the satisfaction of a reaction. You are the bride. You are beautiful. Your dress is perfect. When you walk down that aisle, all eyes will be on you. No one is going to mistake her for the bride. They are just going to see a sad, desperate woman. I wanted to believe her. I really did. But the image of Brenda in that white dress was burned into my mind. She looked so triumphant. She knew exactly what she was doing. This was a power play. It was a declaration. I need to talk to Liam, I said. He needs to do something. He needs to tell her to go change. Jenna nodded. He absolutely does. This is his mother. He needs to handle her. My mom looked thoughtful. He should, but be prepared for him not to. I did not want to hear that. I wanted my future husband to ride in on a white horse and defend my honor. I pulled out my phone. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely type. I sent Liam a text. I need you to come to the bridal suite. Now. It's an emergency. A minute later, he replied, What's wrong? Is everything okay? No, I typed back. It's your mother. I waited. The minutes stretched on. Each one felt like an hour. Finally, there was a soft knock on the door. Jenna opened it. Liam stood there, looking handsome in his tuxedo, but his face was creased with worry. What's going on? He asked. He looked at my face, then at my mom's, then at Jenna's. Why does everyone look so upset? Your mother, I said, my voice flat. Look out the window. He walked to the window. He was quiet for a moment. I saw his shoulders slump. He let out a long sigh. Oh, Mom, he muttered to himself. He turned back to face me. He had a pained expression on his face. Chloe, I am so sorry. Sorry isn't enough, Liam, I said. You have to do something. You have to tell her to go home and change. She can't wear that to our wedding. He ran a hand through his hair. He looked stressed. I know it's not right. But you know how she is. If I say something, she'll have a complete meltdown. She'll cry. She'll make a huge scene. She's already making a huge scene, I said, my voice rising. She wore a wedding dress to our wedding, Liam. What part of that is not a huge scene? It's not a wedding dress, he said weakly. It's just a white dress. I stared at him in disbelief. Jenna scoffed loudly from the corner of the room. Are you kidding me, Liam? Jenna said. That dress has a train. A train, it's a wedding dress. It's not a train. It's just a long skirt, he argued, but his voice lacked conviction. He looked at me, his eyes pleading. Chloe, please, can we just ignore it? For today? I don't want to start our marriage with a massive family war. I felt a profound sense of disappointment. He was not going to stand up for me. He was going to choose the path of least resistance. He was going to choose his mother's feelings over mine. On our wedding day. My mom stood up. She walked over to Liam. She was shorter than him, but she looked him directly in the eye. Liam, she said, her voice dangerously quiet. My daughter is the bride today. She gets to be the only one in a white dress. This is her day. It is not your mother's day. You need to go out there and tell your mother that she has two choices. She can go home and change into an appropriate outfit, Or she can leave. Liam looked cornered. Carol, I can't do that. She's my mother. And Chloe is about to be your wife, my mom said. Who are you going to protect? The woman who is deliberately trying to hurt your bride, or the bride herself? You need to decide right now. Your choice today will set the tone for your entire marriage. He looked from my mom's stern face to my tear-streaked one. He was trapped. I could see the conflict warring in his eyes. He loved me, I knew he did. But he was terrified of his mother. He had spent his whole life trying to manage her moods and avoid her anger. I'll talk to her, he finally said. I'll be gentle. I'll just ask her if she has a wrap or a jacket she could wear over it. I knew it was a weak compromise. A jacket was not going to hide that dress. But it was more than I thought I would get. Okay, I said quietly. Go, please, just try. He nodded and quickly left the room. We all watched him go. The silence he left behind was heavy. Well, Jenna said, that was disappointing. He's scared of her, I whispered. It was a truth I had known for a long time, but it had never been so painfully obvious. He needs to get over it, Jenna said. He's a grown man. My mom put her arm around me. Let's see what happens. Maybe he will surprise us. We went back to the window. We watched Liam approach his mother. He looked nervous. He leaned in and spoke to her. We could not hear what he was saying. Brenda's smile vanished. Her face hardened. She started talking, gesturing wildly with her hands. Liam just stood there, taking it. He looked smaller. After a few minutes of her talking at him, he just nodded and walked away. He did not look back. Brenda smoothed down her white dress. A smug little smile returned to her face. She had won. Liam did not come back to the bridal suite. The wedding coordinator knocked on the door a few minutes later. It's time, she said cheerfully. Are we ready? I looked at my mom. My eyes were pleading. I did not want to go. I did not want to walk down that aisle and see that woman in the front row looking like my bridal understudy. My mom squeezed my hand. Yes, she said to the coordinator. She is ready. She turned to me. Chin up, Chloe. You are the bride. No one can take that away from you unless you let them. You are going to walk down that aisle and you are going to look only at Liam. You are going to marry the man you love. We will deal with Brenda later. Her words gave me a tiny spark of strength. She was right. I could not let Brenda win. I had to go through with it. I took a deep breath. I nodded. Okay, I said. Let's do this. Jenna fluffed my veil. My mom gave me one last hug. I'm so proud of you, she said. Walking down the aisle was one of the hardest things I have ever done. I kept my mom's words in my head. Look only at Liam. I did. I focused on his face at the end of the aisle. He looked handsome, but he also looked guilty. He knew he had failed me. Out of the corner of my eye, I could see the flash of white in the front row. I could feel Brenda's eyes on me. I refused to look at her. I would not give her the satisfaction. The ceremony itself was a blur. I said my vows. Liam said his. We exchanged rings. The officiant pronounced us husband and wife. Liam kissed me. For a moment, when his lips met mine, everything else faded away. It was just us. But the moment ended. We turned to face our guests, and there was Brenda, dabbing at her eyes with a lace handkerchief, putting on a big show of being the emotional mother. She was still in her white dress. Nothing had changed. The reception was held in a large tent on the other side of the garden. As we walked from the ceremony site to the tent, Brenda managed to position herself right next to Liam. She looped her arm through his. My handsome boy, she said loudly for everyone to hear. I am so proud of you. She was ignoring me completely. I was walking on Liam's other side, but she was acting like I did not exist. Liam looked uncomfortable. He tried to gently pull his arm away, but she held on tight. Mom, Chloe and I should lead the way, he said quietly. Oh, of course, Brenda said with a fake, sugary smile. I'm just so overcome with emotion. She finally let go of him, but not before patting his cheek. I took Liam's hand. His palm was sweaty. I'm sorry, he whispered to me. I tried. She wouldn't listen. I know, I said. I was too tired and hurt to fight with him right now. We had the whole rest of our lives to figure this out. For now, I just wanted to get through the next few hours. We entered the reception tent. It was beautiful. The tables were set perfectly. The band was playing soft music. For a second, I felt a flicker of the happiness I was supposed to be feeling. Then I saw Brenda again. She was already working the room, talking to guests, her white dress catching the light. She was holding court. Jenna came up to me and handed me a glass of champagne. Drink this, she ordered. You've earned it. I took a long sip. The bubbles did little to calm my nerves. She's shameless, Jenna said, watching Brenda across the room. Completely and utterly shameless. I don't know what to do, I said. I just want to disappear. You are not disappearing, Jenna said fiercely. This is your party. We are going to have a good time in spite of her. My mom joined us. She had a glass of water. She was watching Brenda, too. Her expression was unreadable. She's certainly enjoying the attention, my mom said dryly. The next hour was a series of small tortures. During the cocktail hour, Brenda followed the photographer around. She kept asking him to take pictures of her and Liam. Just the two of us, she would say. The photographer looked awkward, but he was hired to take pictures, so he did. I saw her posing with Liam, her head on his shoulder, smiling like she was the star of the show. Liam looked miserable. He kept trying to pull me into the photos, but Brenda would find a way to block me or push me to the side. Oh, let me just get one with my son, she'd say. We have so few nice photos together. It was a lie. Her house was a shrine to Liam. There were photos of him everywhere. I finally pulled Liam aside. You have to stop this, I said, my voice shaking with anger. She is hijacking our wedding photos. I'm trying, he said, looking helpless. She's just not listening. She keeps saying just one more. Then you need to walk away. Liam, I said, tell the photographer that you'll only take photos with me, your wife. The word wife felt strange and new on my tongue. It was supposed to feel powerful. Right now, it just felt hollow. He nodded. You're right. I will. He did try. He took my hand and told the photographer, from now on, just photos of the bride and groom. Brenda overheard him. She let out a dramatic sigh. Oh, I see. I'm being cast aside already. The new wife comes in and the mother gets thrown away. A few of her relatives who were standing nearby looked at me with disapproval. She was painting me as the villain. She was twisting the situation to make me look like the bad guy for wanting my husband to myself on my wedding day. I felt a surge of hot, helpless anger. This was her game. She was an expert at it. I walked away. I could not stand there and listen to it. I went to the bar and asked for another glass of champagne. I needed something to numb the growing dread in my stomach. What was she going to do next? I found my answer a few minutes later. I was talking to one of my cousins when I overheard Brenda's voice from a nearby group of people. Her voice was loud and carried easily. Well, someone had to wear a proper bridal gown, she was saying. A few people tittered nervously. Chloe's dress is nice, but a bit plain, don't you think? I just felt the occasion called for something with a little more gravitas. I froze. My cousin stopped talking. She was staring at me, her eyes wide with shock. Then came the line that broke me. The line that changed everything. After all, Brenda said, her voice dripping with condescending sweetness. I'm the real bride here. I'm the one who raised him. He'll always be my boy first. She's just borrowing him. The air went out of my lungs. It was a physical blow. The words hit me harder than a slap in the face. I'm the real bride. She had actually said it, out loud, to other people. My cousin put a hand on my arm. "Chloe, don't listen to her. She's crazy." But I had listened, and I couldn't unhear it. The casual cruelty of it, the absolute narcissism. It was breathtaking. This was not just a misguided fashion choice. This was a calculated attack. She was trying to invalidate my marriage. She was trying to erase me from my own wedding. I turned and walked away from my cousin without a word. I had to find a place to be alone. I found a small, empty alcove near the back of the tent. I leaned against the canvas wall, trying to breathe. Tears were streaming down my face now. I could not hold them back anymore. She had won. She had ruined it. She had made me cry on my wedding day. Jenna found me there a minute later. "Chloe, what's wrong? What happened?" she asked, her voice full of concern. I told her what I had heard. I repeated Brenda's words. "I'm the real bride." Jenna's face went from concern to furious in a split second. "That witch," she hissed. "That absolute monster. I am going to go over there and pour a whole bottle of red wine on that ridiculous dress." "No," I sobbed. "Don't. It's what she wants. She wants me to be hysterical. She wants me to make a scene so she can play the victim." "So what are we going to do?" Jenna asked, putting her arms around me. "We can't just let her get away with this. We can't let her win." "I don't know," I whispered. "I think she already has." That was my lowest point. I felt completely defeated. I had no fight left in me. I just wanted the day to be over. I wanted to go home and climb into bed and never see Brenda again. But then my mom found us. She had a look on her face I had never seen before. It was a look of pure, cold fury, but her voice when she spoke was perfectly calm. "I heard what she said," my mom told me. She handed me a handkerchief. "Dry your tears, Chloe. We are not done yet." "What are we going to do, Mom?" I asked. "She's awful. She's ruining everything." "She thinks she's in control," my mom said. Her eyes narrowed as she looked out at Brenda, who was now laughing loudly at something one of her friends had said. "She thinks she's won. But the night is still young." My mom looked at me. "The speeches are in about an hour," she said. "The father of the bride, the best man. The mother of the bride." A little flicker of something ignited inside me. Hope, maybe. "What are you going to do?" I asked. My mom gave me a small, grim smile. "I'm the mother of the real bride," she said. "I think it's time everyone was reminded of that." The idea felt terrifying and exhilarating at the same time. A public takedown. It was exactly the kind of drama I had wanted to avoid. But Brenda had started this war. Maybe it was time someone else finished it. I dried my eyes. I took a shaky breath. "Okay," I said. "What's the plan?" My mom's smile widened just a little. "The plan," she said, "is to let her think she's winning. Let her have her little moments. Let her get comfortable. The higher she flies, the harder she'll fall." So that's what we did. I went back out into the reception. I put a smile on my face. I danced my first dance with Liam. He held me tight. "I'm so sorry, Chloe," he whispered in my ear as we swayed to the music. "I will make this up to you. I promise." "We'll talk about it later," I said. I could not bring myself to be warm with him. Not yet. The wound was too fresh. He had let me down. During the dance, I saw Brenda watching us. She was dabbing her eyes again, but she was not smiling. She looked possessive, like she was watching someone else dance with her man. It was deeply unsettling. After our dance, the father-daughter dance began. I danced with my dad. He held me close. "Are you okay, sweetheart?" he asked. "You seem tense." My dad is a gentle soul. He avoids conflict even more than Liam does. I did not want to burden him with the drama. "I'm fine, Dad," I lied. "Just a little overwhelmed." He squeezed my hand. You look beautiful. I'm so happy for you. I tried to absorb his simple, honest love. It was a stark contrast to the toxic energy radiating from my new mother-in-law. Next, it was the mother-son dance. Liam took Brenda's hand. She was beaming. This was her moment. The song they danced to was a slow, sentimental ballad. Brenda rested her head on Liam's shoulder. She closed her eyes. She looked like she was in heaven. She was the star of the show. Many of the guests were watching them, smiling. They did not see what I saw. They did not see the possessiveness, the obsession. They just saw a loving mother and her son. My mom came to stand next to me. We watched them together. She's really soaking it in, isn't she? My mom said quietly. She loves this, I agreed. She's probably imagining this is her wedding day. Good, my mom said. Let her. The more she puts on a show, the more effective my speech will be. I felt a knot of anxiety in my stomach. Mom, are you sure about this? What if it backfires? What if it just makes things worse? Worse than this? My mom asked, gesturing with her chin toward the dance floor. Worse than her calling herself the real bride? Worse than her trying to erase you from your own wedding? I don't think so, Chloe. Sometimes the only way to deal with a bully is to stand up to them. Publicly. I knew she was right. Brenda only cared about one thing. Her public image. She had spent years crafting this persona of the perfect, doting mother. A public humiliation was the only thing that would ever get through to her. It was the only language she would understand. Okay, I whispered. Okay. After the dance, it was time for dinner. We sat at the head table. Me, Liam, my parents, and Liam's parents, George and Brenda. Sitting next to Brenda was excruciating. She kept trying to make small talk with me. The food is lovely, isn't it? She said, smiling at me as if nothing had happened. I recommended this caterer, you know. I'm so glad you took my advice. She had not recommended the caterer. I had found them myself after weeks of research. She had actually complained about my choice, saying they were too expensive. I just nodded and took a bite of my salmon. I was not going to engage. I was not going to give her anything. Liam was quiet. He was picking at his food. He kept glancing between me and his mother. He was radiating misery. Good, I thought. He should be miserable. He helped create this situation by never standing up to her. His father, George, was also quiet. He looked tired. He had a resigned look on his face that I had seen many times. It was the look of a man who had given up fighting his wife's narcissism long ago. He just wanted a quiet life. I felt a pang of sympathy for him. My mom, on the other hand, was surprisingly chatty with Brenda. That's a very memorable dress, Brenda, my mom said, her tone perfectly pleasant. Brenda preened. Oh, thank you, Carol. I just thought, for my only son's wedding, I had to wear something special. You know how it is. I do, my mom said, her smile never wavering. For my only daughter's wedding, I made sure to wear a nice, simple, navy blue dress so that the bride could be the only one shining. Brenda's smile faltered for a fraction of a second. She had caught the jab, but she recovered quickly. Oh, of course, she said, but Chloe is so young and beautiful. She doesn't need any help shining. An old woman like me needs all the help she can get. She laughed a fake, tinkling laugh. It was a masterful performance. She was playing the humble, self-deprecating older woman while simultaneously justifying her outrageous behavior. My mom just smiled and took a sip of her water. She was gathering ammunition. I needed to talk to Liam before the speeches. I needed to know where he stood. When he got up to go to the restroom, I followed him. I caught up with him outside the tent. Liam, we need to talk, I said. He sighed. Chloe, I know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I should have made her change. I was a coward. Yes, you were, I said. It hurt to say it, but it was the truth. But it's not just about the dress anymore. You heard what she said? That she's the real bride? He flinched. Who told you that? I overheard her, I said. She was telling your cousins. She is actively trying to humiliate me. He looked devastated. I can't believe she would say that. I'm going to talk to her. No, I said. It's too late for talking. Talking doesn't work with her. You know that. You talk to her? She cries. She plays the victim. And then you end up apologizing to her. So what do we do? He asked, looking lost. I took a deep breath. My mom is going to say something. In her speech. Liam's eyes widened in alarm. What? No, Chloe, no, that will be a disaster. It will be a huge public fight. It will ruin the whole night. The night is already ruined, Liam, I said, my voice cold. Your mother ruined it. This is not a fight. This is a consequence. She has been behaving like this for years and everyone just lets her. You let her. Your dad lets her. It's time for it to stop. But a public speech in front of everyone? He pleaded. Can't we handle this privately? After the wedding? We've been handling it privately for years, Liam. And by privately, I mean we ignore it until it goes away. Well, it's not going away. It's getting worse. She wore a wedding dress to our wedding. What is she going to do at the birth of our first child? Show up in a christening gown and claim the baby is hers? The image was so absurd, yet so plausible, that it silenced him. He knew I was right. What is your mom going to say? He asked weakly. I don't know exactly, I admitted, but I trust her. She's not going to scream or yell. She's going to be calm. She's going to be factual. And she is going to defend me, which is more than my own husband has done today. The words hung in the air between us. They were cruel, but they were true. He looked like I had physically struck him. You're right, he said, his voice hoarse. You're absolutely right. I failed you today, Chloe. I was so worried about her making a scene that I let her ruin our day. I'm so sorry. I know you're sorry, I said. But sorry isn't enough anymore. I need you to have my back. I need you to be on my team, not hers, not in the middle, on my team. He looked me straight in the eye. I am. From this moment on, I am. Whatever your mom says, I will back her up. I will back you up. I am done being afraid of my mother. It was what I had needed to hear all day. It was late, but it was something. I felt a tiny bit of the tension in my shoulders release. Okay, I said. Then let's go back inside. The show is about to start. We walked back to the head table together. Liam took my hand, and this time he did not let go. The DJ announced that it was time for the speeches. My heart started to pound. The best man, Liam's friend Mark, went first. He gave a funny, sweet speech about his friendship with Liam and how happy he was that Liam had found me. It was lovely. Everyone clapped. Then the DJ announced, and now for a toast from the mother of the bride, Carol. My mom stood up. She walked gracefully to the small podium where the microphone was set up. The tent was quiet. She looked out at all the faces. She smiled. It was a pleasant, motherly smile. She looked completely at ease. Brenda was watching her, a small, condescending smirk on her face. She thought she was about to listen to a boring, sentimental speech. She had no idea what was coming. Good evening, everyone, my mom began, her voice clear and strong. I'm Carol, Chloe's mother. I want to thank you all for coming here today to celebrate with us. It means so much to see so many people who love and support Chloe and Liam. She paused. She looked at me and Liam. Liam, welcome to the family. We are so thrilled to have you. Seeing my daughter this happy has been the greatest gift a mother could ask for. Chloe, my darling, you are a radiant, beautiful bride. I am so incredibly proud of the woman you have become. It was a standard, lovely opening. I saw Brenda relax a little. She picked up her wine glass, looking bored. A wedding day is a day of celebration, my mom continued, her tone shifting ever so slightly. It became more serious. It's a day that marks a new beginning. It's a day that is, and should be, all about the bride and groom. It is a day for them to be the center of attention. She paused again, letting the words sink in. She turned her head and looked directly at Brenda. The smile was gone from my mom's face. It was replaced by a look of cool, hard steel. Which is why I was so surprised to see we had two brides here tonight, my mom said. A collective gasp went through the tent. You could have heard a pin drop. Every single eye in the room swiveled from my mom to Brenda. Brenda froze. Her face went pale. The smirk was gone. She looked like a deer caught in the headlights. Now, of course, my daughter Chloe is the real bride, my mom continued, her voice never wavering. She's the one in the exquisite gown she spent a year choosing. She's the one who just married the love of her life. But I do want to acknowledge the other bride in the room, the one in the shockingly inappropriate white lace dress. More gasps. People were starting to whisper. Brenda's face was now turning a blotchy red. She looked horrified. She looked over at Liam, her eyes wide with panic. But Liam was looking at me, his hand holding mine tightly on the table. He was not going to save her. One might think it was a simple mistake. My mom went on, her voice calm and methodical. A fashion faux pas, but I've learned today that it was much more than that. My mom was a lawyer for many years before she retired. She was building her case, piece by piece, for the jury of our wedding guests. It seems this other bride has been telling people today that she is, in fact, the real bride. That my daughter is just borrowing her son. She has been trying to hijack the wedding photos. She even tried to have the wedding cake topper changed to a mother-son figurine. There was an audible murmur of shock from the guests. I saw the wedding planner, a woman named Maria, nodding her head in confirmation to the people at her table. I think a person who would do that, my mom said, her voice dripping with disdain, is not someone who is celebrating a new union. They are someone who is trying to sabotage it. They are someone who cannot stand to see the spotlight shift, even for a single day. Brenda looked like she was about to be sick. She stared at my mom, her mouth slightly open in disbelief. This was not happening. This could not be happening. Her carefully constructed public image was being dismantled, piece by piece, in front of everyone she knew. My mom raised her glass. So, I would like to propose a toast. Not to the woman who tried to make today all about herself, but to my daughter, Chloe, the one and only, stunningly beautiful, an incredibly gracious bride in the room today. She looked at me and smiled a real warm smile. May your life with Liam be filled with love, happiness, and a distinct lack of narcissistic drama. To Chloe and Liam. To Chloe and Liam, the room echoed. Almost everyone raised their glasses. The applause was thunderous. It was a wave of support. It was validation. It was everything I needed. But my mom was not finished. She held up her hand for silence. One last thing, she said, her voice bright again. As a wedding gift to the other bride, Brenda, we've made a generous donation in her name to the National Center for Narcissistic Personality Disorder Awareness. We hope it brings her some clarity. The tent erupted. Not in applause this time, but in a mixture of shocked laughter and outright guffaws. Someone at a back table actually whooped. It was the most brutal, elegant, and perfectly executed takedown I had ever witnessed. My mom put the microphone down. She walked back to our table. She sat down and took a calm sip of her water as if she had just been commenting on the weather. The aftermath was immediate and devastating for Brenda. She was completely humiliated. She sat frozen in her chair, her face a mask of fury and shame. Her husband, George, was staring down at his plate. He looked relieved, as if a weight he had been carrying for 30 years had finally been lifted. Liam squeezed my hand. "I love your mom," he whispered in my ear. I looked at him, and for the first time all day, I smiled a genuine, happy smile. "Me too," I said. The DJ, a young guy who looked completely stunned, seemed to unsure what to do next. He tentatively put on some upbeat music. It was the signal for the party to resume, but no one was looking at the dance floor. Everyone was still looking at Brenda. She finally moved. She pushed her chair back, her movements stiff and jerky. She stood up. She did not look at anyone. She grabbed her purse and, without a word to her husband or her son, she turned and walked quickly toward the exit of the tent. Her white dress, which had seemed so triumphant just minutes before, now looked like a costume of shame. As she walked, no one said a word to her. People who had been her friends for years turned their backs. They started talking to the person next to them, pointedly ignoring her. It was a brutal, silent shunning. She was a social pariah. She disappeared out of the tent. A moment later, we heard the sound of a car door slamming and an engine starting. She was gone. The tension in the tent broke. It was like a spell had been lifted. People started talking and laughing. A few people came up to our table. My Aunt Martha was the first. She hugged my mom. "Carol, that was the most incredible thing I have ever seen," she said. "She has had that coming for 30 years. Jenna came over and gave me a massive hug. "Your mom is my hero," she declared. "That was legendary. I'm going to be telling my grandkids about this day." Liam's father, George, finally looked up. He looked over at my mom. He had a small, tired smile on his face. "Thank you, Carol," he said quietly. "Truly. Thank you." My mom just nodded at him. There was an understanding between them. He was free, at least for tonight. The rest of the night was a blur of happiness. It was as if, with Brenda gone, the cloud had lifted. The party came alive. I danced with my friends. I danced with my cousins. I laughed so hard my sides hurt. Liam did not leave my side. He held my hand. He brought me drinks. He kissed me on the dance floor. He looked at me with an adoration that I had not seen since we first started dating. The guilt was gone, replaced by a fierce protectiveness. Later in the evening, we were cutting the cake. It was the beautiful, simple cake I had chosen. On top was the simple, elegant topper of two figures holding hands that I had picked out. Not a mother-son figurine in sight. As Liam fed me a bite of cake, I felt a pure, uncomplicated joy. This was my wedding. This was my day. My mom had given it back to me. We had several more conversations that night that showed the fallout. Liam's aunt, a woman named Susan, came up to me. She had always been kind to me. "Chloe, I am so sorry about Brenda," she said. "I have to admit, your mother is a brave woman. No one has ever dared to stand up to her like that." "It was time," I said simply. "It was past time," Susan agreed. "She did something similar at my wedding, you know. Wore a pale silver dress that photographed white. Cried through the whole ceremony. I was young and I just let it happen. I've regretted it ever since. I'm so glad you didn't." Her words were another layer of validation. It confirmed this was a pattern, not a one-time error in judgment. Not everyone was supportive, of course. One of Brenda's close friends, a woman named Patricia, cornered my mother by the bar. I was standing nearby and heard the exchange. "That was a cruel and hateful thing to do, Carol," Patricia said, her voice low and angry. "Brenda is devastated. You humiliated her in front of everyone." My mom looked at her, completely unfazed. "Brenda humiliated my daughter," she replied calmly. "She wore a wedding dress to her son's wedding and told people she was the real bride. That is the definition of cruel and hateful. What I did was simply state the facts. If the truth is humiliating, perhaps Brenda should reconsider her actions." Patricia sputtered. "But it's family. You don't air dirty laundry in public like that." "When a family member is a bully," my mom said, her voice turning to ice. "Sometimes the public square is the only place to get justice. Brenda has been getting away with this behavior in private for far too long. Now the laundry is aired. Maybe next time she'll think twice." Patricia just stared at her, speechless, and then turned and walked away. My mom had won that round too. The most important conversation of the night happened near the end, just before Liam and I were set to leave. We found a quiet corner of the garden. "Chloe, Liam started. I need to say it again. I am so, so sorry. I know I broke your trust today. I promise you, I will spend the rest of our lives earning it back. I was so hurt, Liam, I said, my voice quiet. I felt so alone. It felt like you chose her. I know, he said, his voice thick with emotion. It was a reflex. My whole life, the path of least resistance has been to just appease her, to manage her emotions. It was easier than fighting, but it wasn't fair to you. It wasn't fair to us. Seeing your mom stand up there, it was like a lightning bolt. She was more of a protector to you in that 5-minute speech than I was all day. I will never forgive myself for that. I don't need you to never forgive yourself, I said. I took his hands. I need you to change. I need to know that from now on we are a team. The primary team. Your mother is family, but we are the unit, you and me. Absolutely, he said, his grip on my hands tightening. 100%, we are the unit. We will set boundaries with her. Hard ones. If she can't respect them, then she won't be in our lives. It's that simple. I am done. I am so done with it. I looked into his eyes. I saw sincerity there. I saw regret. But I also saw a new determination. He had seen the truth of his mother's behavior, and he could not unsee it. My mom's speech had not just been for Brenda, it had been for Liam, too. It had been the wake-up call he desperately needed. Okay, I said. I believe you. And I did. I knew it would not be easy. I knew there would be more drama with Brenda down the line. But for the first time, I felt like Liam and I would be facing it together. As we prepared to leave, my mom came to say goodbye. She hugged me tightly. Have a wonderful honeymoon, she said. Thank you, Mom, I whispered in her ear. Thank you for everything. You saved my wedding. She pulled back and looked at me. I just reminded everyone who the bride was, she said with a small smile. Now go be happy. Our friends and family lined up to give us a sparkler send-off. As we ran through the tunnel of glittering lights, I felt lighter than I had all day. The shame and humiliation were gone, replaced by a feeling of triumph. We had not just survived Brenda's attack. We had won. The days after the wedding were quiet. Liam and I left for our honeymoon in Italy the next morning. We did not talk about Brenda for the first few days. We just enjoyed being together. We explored Rome. We ate pasta. We drank wine. We reconnected. We remembered why we had fallen in love in the first place. Liam was different. He was more attentive, more present. The shadow of his mother, which had always been lurking in the background of our relationship, seemed to have receded. About a week into our trip, his phone rang. It was his father, George. Liam hesitated before answering. You should take it, I said. He nodded and answered the phone. I watched his face as he listened. He was quiet for a long time. Okay, Dad, he said finally. Yeah, I understand. No, we're not cutting our trip short. We will talk to her when we get back. But Dad, things are going to be different now. Okay, I love you too. He hung up the phone and let out a long breath. What was that about? I asked. My mom, he said. He sat down on the edge of the bed. She's been a wreck. She hasn't left the house. She's been calling my dad's phone constantly, demanding that I call her. Is she sorry? I asked. It was the million-dollar question. Liam gave a short, humorless laugh. No, not at all. According to my dad, she's furious. She's furious at your mom for ambushing her. She's furious at me for letting it happen. She's furious at my dad for not defending her. In her mind, she is the victim of a cruel, premeditated attack. I sighed. I was not surprised. Narcissists rarely see their own fault. She is demanding an apology from my mom, Liam continued, and from me. She says she won't speak to either of us until we apologize for humiliating her. An apology? I said in disbelief. She wants us to apologize to her? Yep, Liam said. He looked at me. And my dad, he was trying to broker a peace deal. He was saying, maybe you could just call her, son, just to smooth things over. My heart sank a little. Was he going to fall back into his old habits? What did you say? I asked, holding my breath. I told him no, Liam said firmly. I told him that we would not be apologizing. I told him that Mom is the one who owes us an apology, a huge one, and until she is ready to give a sincere, genuine apology for her behavior at our wedding, then there is nothing to talk about. I felt a wave of relief so powerful it almost made me dizzy. He had done it. He had held the line, even with his father pressuring him. I'm proud of you, I said. And I meant it. It was a bigger moment than he probably realized. It was the proof I needed that he had truly changed. I meant what I said at the wedding, he said. We are a team. No one, not even my own mother, gets to come between us. When we got back from our honeymoon, we were a united front. We had a long discussion and we wrote down our boundaries for Brenda. 1, she had to apologize to both of us, specifically for wearing the white dress and for her comments about being the real bride. 2, she was not allowed to make negative comments about me, my family, or our choices, either to our faces or to other people. 3, she had to respect our decisions as a couple. No more trying to take over plans or steamroll our choices. 4, visits would be planned in advance. No more surprise pop-ins. They were reasonable boundaries. They were what any normal couple would expect. But for Brenda, they were a declaration of war. Liam called his father and laid out the terms. We did not speak to Brenda directly. We decided that all communication for a while would go through George, who had become an unlikely, if weary, mediator. The response from Brenda, relayed through George, was explosive. She was outraged. How dare we give her rules? She was the mother. We were the children. We were supposed to respect her. She says she will never apologize, George told Liam over the phone. I could hear his tired voice from across the room. She says you have been brainwashed by Chloe and her horrible mother. Okay, Dad, Liam said, his voice calm. Then I guess she has made her choice. We won't be seeing her. There was a long silence on the other end of the line. Liam, she's your mother, George said finally, his voice pleading. I know, Liam said, and I love her. But I love my wife more. And I will not allow her to disrespect my wife and my marriage. The ball is in her court. She knows what she needs to do. He ended the call. He looked at me. This is going to be hard, he said. I know, I said. But we're doing it together. The next few months were a cold war. Brenda stuck to her guns. She refused to apologize. She played the victim to anyone who would listen. She told her friends that I was a monster who had stolen her son. She said my mother was a vicious bully. Some of her friends believed her. We got a few angry phone calls from her flying monkeys, as Jenna called them. We blocked their numbers. But many people did not believe her. They had been at the wedding. They had seen the white dress. They had heard my mother's speech. Brenda had lost a lot of social capital that day. Her reputation was damaged. We did not see her for Thanksgiving. We did not see her for Christmas. It was strange. Liam had never spent a holiday away from his mother. It was hard for him. I knew he was sad. But he never wavered. It's better this way, he said on Christmas Day as we sat in our quiet living room. It's peaceful. There's no drama. No walking on eggshells. He was right. Our first Christmas as a married couple was calm and happy. We spent it with my family. My mom and dad welcomed him with open arms. There were no backhanded compliments, no passive-aggressive sighs, just warmth and love. George would call Liam every few weeks. He would give updates on Brenda. She was still angry, still stubborn. But she was also, according to George, very lonely. Her social life had taken a hit. People were avoiding her. The story of what happened at our wedding had spread through their social circle. The narcissist label, delivered so publicly by my mom, had stuck. The breakthrough, or what passed for one, came in the spring. It was almost a year after the wedding. George called Liam. "Your mother wants to see you," he said. "She's ready to talk." Liam was cautious. "Does that mean she's ready to apologize?" There was a long pause. "She's ready to meet you halfway," George said, which was classic mediator speak for no, but please just come anyway. Liam and I talked about it. We decided we would meet with her, but not alone. We would do it on our terms. "We'll meet her for lunch," Liam told his dad. "In a public place, and Chloe will be there." This was another boundary. No more private meetings where she could manipulate him alone. Brenda agreed. We chose a neutral restaurant, a quiet little Italian place. I was nervous as we walked in. I had not seen her face to face since she had stormed out of our wedding. She was already there, sitting at a small table in the corner. She was wearing a beige pantsuit. It was the most boring, unassuming outfit I had ever seen her in. She looked older. The defiant, triumphant spark she'd had at the wedding was gone. She just looked tired and bitter. We sat down. The silence was awkward. "Hello, Liam," she said, her voice stiff. She did not look at me. "Hi, Mom," Liam said. "You know Chloe." Brenda gave me a brief, cold glance. "Hello, Chloe." "Brenda," I said, my voice polite but cool. The waiter came and took our order. It was a welcome interruption. After he left, the silence descended again. "Well," Liam said, breaking the tension. "Dad said you wanted to talk." Brenda took a deep breath. She was steeling herself. "I think this whole situation has been blown way out of proportion," she began. I felt Liam tense up beside me. This was not starting well. "It has been a very difficult year for me," she continued. "I have been very hurt by what happened. My friends have abandoned me. I have been gossiped about. It has been a nightmare." She was still the victim. Of course she was. "I am willing to put it all behind us," she said, as if she were a queen granting a pardon. "For the sake of the family. I am willing to forgive your mother for her cruel words, and I am willing to forgive you, Liam, for not defending me." I stared at her. I could not believe what I was hearing. She was going to forgive us? Liam did not let it slide. "Mom," he said, and his voice was hard. "We are not the ones who need forgiveness here. You are." Brenda's eyes flashed with anger. "I did nothing wrong. I wore a dress." "Is that a crime?" "It was a beautiful dress." "You wore a wedding dress to my wedding, Mom," Liam said. "You know exactly what you were doing. And then you told people that you were the real bride. You tried to ruin our day, and you have never once taken responsibility for it." "It was a misunderstanding," she insisted, her voice rising. "People twisted my words." "No, they didn't," I said, speaking for the first time. "I heard you, Brenda. I was standing right there. You said, 'I'm the real bride.' There is no way to twist those words." She glared at me. "You have turned my son against me." "No," Liam said, cutting her off. "I opened my own eyes. I saw what you were doing. I have seen what you have been doing for years. I just never had the courage to stop it." "Well, I have the courage now. We gave you our boundaries, Mom." The first one was a sincere apology. This, he gestured around the table, is not an apology. This is you blaming everyone else. So I think we're done here. He stood up. I stood up with him. Brenda looked shocked. "You're leaving?" "Yes," Liam said. "We have nothing more to say. The offer still stands. When you're ready to give a real, genuine apology for what you did, you know how to reach us. Until then, goodbye." We turned and walked out of the restaurant, leaving her sitting there alone with her beige pantsuit and her bitterness. As we got in the car, Liam was shaking slightly. "That was hard," he said. "You were amazing," I told him. I took his hand. "You were strong and you were clear. You did everything right. He let out a shaky breath. I feel good. I feel free. That was the last time we tried to reason with her. The ball was in her court and she refused to play. The silence from her side of the family became permanent. We would get Christmas cards from George, signed only from him. We heard through the grapevine that Brenda was becoming more and more isolated. Even her most loyal friends grew tired of her constant victim narrative. Life went on. Liam and I bought a house. We got a dog. Our marriage, forged in the fire of that awful day, was stronger than ever. We were a team. We were solid. About 2 years after the wedding, I got pregnant. We were overjoyed. It was a happy, exciting time. My mom was thrilled. My dad was already planning to build a cradle. The thought of Brenda loomed in the back of my mind. My joke at the wedding about her showing up in a christening gown did not seem so funny anymore. Liam and I had a serious talk. We need a plan for when the baby comes, I said. I know, he said. The boundaries still stand. She doesn't get to be in this baby's life if she can't respect us. What about George? I asked. He's going to be a grandfather. I'll talk to him, Liam said. He can visit, but she can't. Not unless something fundamentally changes. Liam called his dad to share the news. George was happy, of course, but his joy was tempered with sadness. She's going to be heartbroken, Liam, George said, to not be able to see her first grandchild. That is a consequence of her own actions, Dad, Liam said, his voice firm. She has had 2 years to apologize. All she had to do was say, I'm sorry. She chose not to. That has consequences. The baby, a beautiful little girl we named Lily, was born in the fall. The day she was born was truly the happiest day of my life. Holding her in my arms, all the drama with Brenda seemed so small and so far away. My mom and dad were at the hospital, doting on their new granddaughter. Jenna came and brought balloons. It was a circle of love and support. On our second day in the hospital, a bouquet of flowers arrived. They were white roses. The card was addressed to Liam. Congratulations on my beautiful granddaughter. I hope one day you will let me meet her. Love, Mom. Liam read the card and passed it to me without a word. My beautiful granddaughter? I read aloud. She hasn't even met her. She's already claiming possession. And not a word of apology, Liam noted. Not even a sorry for everything. Just a demand. What do we do? I asked. Liam took the card. He walked over to the trash can and dropped it in. We do nothing, he said. The boundary stands. It was a quiet, simple action, but it was more powerful than any speech. He was choosing us. He was choosing our new family. He was choosing peace. The final chapter of this story happened about 6 months later. George had been visiting Lily regularly. He was a wonderful grandfather. He clearly adored her. But he was always sad when he left. We knew he was going home to a lonely, bitter woman. One Sunday, he came over. He looked more tired than usual. Brenda wants to know if she can come with me next time, he said, not looking at us. He was looking at Lily, who was cooing in my arms. Just for a few minutes. She just wants to see her. Liam and I looked at each other. We had already discussed this. Dad, you know the answer to that, Liam said gently. Has she apologized? George sighed. No, she says she's sorry for how things turned out. She's sorry that everyone got so upset. It was a classic non-apology. I'm sorry you feel that way. That's not an apology, Dad, Liam said. That's her saying she's sorry she got caught. It's not the same thing. I know, George said. He looked up and his eyes were filled with a deep sadness. But Liam, she's not well. She's depressed. She barely leaves her room. All she has are the old pictures of you. She just sits and looks at them. This baby is the only thing she has to look forward to. It was a guilt trip. A massive one. The old Liam would have caved. The old Liam would have said, okay, just for a few minutes. But this was the new Liam. "I'm sorry to hear she's not well, Dad," Liam said. "I truly am. I hope she gets the help she needs. But her mental health is not our responsibility, and we will not expose our daughter to her toxic behavior. We will not teach Lily that it's okay for people to treat her mother with disrespect." The answer is no. George just nodded. He understood. He did not fight it. "I had to ask," he said quietly. That was the moment I knew we were truly free. The cycle was broken. Brenda had no more power over us. She could not manipulate us. She could not guilt us. We had built a wall of boundaries around our family, and it was holding strong. My mother's speech at my wedding was not just about getting revenge, it was about liberation. She gave me my wedding day back, but she also gave Liam the strength to break free from a lifetime of emotional manipulation. She gave our marriage a foundation of mutual respect and protection. She gave our daughter a future free from her grandmother's toxicity. Sometimes I feel a pang of sadness for Brenda. She is a lonely woman who has pushed away everyone who ever loved her. She is trapped in a prison of her own making. Her desire to be the real bride cost her everything. She lost her son. She lost the respect of her friends and family. And she lost the chance to be a grandmother to our beautiful daughter. But the feeling passes quickly, because my life is full. I have a husband who loves and respects me. I have a daughter who fills our home with joy. I have a mother who showed me what true strength looks like. Brenda wanted to be the bride. She wanted to be the center of attention. Well, she got her wish. For one brief, glorious moment during my mother's speech, every single person in that room was looking at her. They saw her exactly for who she was, and it cost her everything. My mother never raised her voice. She never used a single curse word. She just used the truth. And the truth, it turned out, was the most devastating weapon of all. She didn't just win the battle that night. She won the entire war. And my life, and my family's life, is so much more peaceful because of it. I stopped waiting for her to change and started living my life. That was the real wedding gift my mother gave me. It was the gift of peace.